Hey VC, it's Jonathan, your cheap and cheerful record collector. So today I'm following a thread that was started by the Static Traveler. Static Traveler is a gentleman from across the pond over in England. Has a great channel. You should definitely check it out. He's not your typical channel you see, so very interesting guy and an interesting channel. So he has a vinyl tag called If I Was a God. What you would do, how you could change certain things with a snap of your finger or a flick of your wrist, and you could just change things that were not the way you like them. So here's 9 questions. I'll start with question number 1. Question 1. Show a record you would improve by adding or removing a single track. To me, this was easy, no-brainer. As soon as I heard the question, this album came to mind, one of my favorite albums of all time, The Beatles' Revolver, and I would immediately take out Yellow Submarine. I freaking hate that song. I think it ruins the album. I mean, if they wanted to put out a kids album with songs like that, they should have put out a kids album. It doesn't belong on this album. I know they had to give Ringo a song to sing, but I freaking hate it. I think it kills the album. And I would immediately remove that song from this album. And I think this would then be a perfect album without that song on it. Number 2, show a record by an artist you would resurrect from the dead. I went through a lot. I mean, you know, Buddy Holly, Jimi Hendrix, Bob Marley, blah, blah, blah. But for me, there's only one artist that I would bring back. He's my favorite artist. He's my favorite musician of all time, and that would be Thelonious Monk. This is his album, It's Monk's Time. To me, he is the greatest musician of the 20th century. I just love Monk. So innovative, so just amazing. So without a doubt, Thelonious Monk is the guy I would bring back from the dead. 3, which record that you own would you obliterate from the face of the earth, erasing all memory of its existence? There are a couple, but I don't own them because I got rid of them already. But this one I still have, but if I could get rid of this album and obliterate it from the face of the earth, never to be seen or heard of again, it would be the Eagles' Hotel California. Oh, God, don't get me started. Done. Show a record cover which displays something of the power of nature. This is the first thing I thought of. This album came out a Record Store Day about 2 years ago, and it's Jorma Kaukonen and John Hurlbart. The River Flows. This is volume 2. Just love that cover. So beautiful. And that's the power of nature. Just fantastic. There was volume 1 also, which is the same cover but in black and white. This has a little more power to it, I think. If you don't know these albums, they put 2 of them out. Just great. Jorma, of course, you know from Jefferson Airplane and from Hot Tuna. And John is a friend of his who sings most of the songs on the album and plays guitar. Just great album. I would highly recommend both these, Volume 1 and Volume 2, The River Flows. Next one is sort of interesting. Which 3 musicians would you Frankenstein together to produce the super musician? So this is sort of, I went through a lot of different variations on this, but this is what I came up with. I would take the soul of Otis Redding. I would take the quirkiness and the world view of Tom Waits, and I would add it to the musicality of Stevie Wonder. I think you put those 3 together, it would be a very interesting mix of musicians there. The soul of Otis Redding, the world view and quirkiness of Tom Waits, and the musicality of Stevie Wonder. All right. Show a record by 1 male and 1 female artist you would save from the end of the world to entertain you in heaven forever. Again, to me, this was obvious. I had no problem picking this out immediately. And to me, the first artist was the greatest male vocalist of the 20th century, and that would be Frank Sinatra. I could listen to Frank all day long. I got 35 albums by Frank, and still missing a couple I got to add to my collection, but without a doubt, Frank. And after Frank, female artist, Again, who would I take but Ella? Ella Fitzgerald, most beautiful voice. Could listen to her virtually forever. Show a record which depicts one or more of the 7 deadly sins: lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, anger, envy, pride. And of course I went with the Rolling Stones' Baker's Banquet, which I think is all of, is certainly lust, gluttony, greed, pride, all together. Rolling Stones, Baker's Banquet. Number 8, show a record by an artist, if you can, which I can't, who you would assign to hell forever for musical crimes against humanity. And the guy I would do, without a doubt, would be Neil Diamond. No redeeming value whatsoever. As I was reading the book by Levon Helm about the band, and he was talking about how when they were doing the Last Waltz, they were picking the different artists that were going to be in the concert with them. And Robbie Robertson came up and said, "Oh, we're going to have Neil Diamond." And Levon Helm looks at him and goes, "Who the fuck is Neil Diamond?" And it's actually how I feel. Who the fuck is Neil Diamond? Complete waste of time and energy. And last but not least, in your benevolence, which VC channel would you bestow 1 million subscribers to, so they may never have to work again, and indulge us with all their videos and ad infinitum? It cannot be your own. So the person I would bestow 1 million subscribers to immediately would be Hedley in England, another fat bearded man talking about records. Hedley has great stuff, a lot of American country folk and country music, as well as a wide variety of music. If you don't know Hedley, look him up. Another fat bearded man talking about records. I would immediately bestow 1 million subscribers to him, so he wouldn't have to work and he could just talk all day long and show us all the records he has. So if I was a god, that's what I would do. Definitely check out the Static Traveler. And if you like this video, please subscribe down below. Give me a like. Thanks for watching. And I want to thank all the new subscribers I've gotten recently. And until next time, peace.